has reopened here in Silver Spring after a deadly crash on 495 here blocked several lanes during morning rush hour. What we're learning about the victims.
Plus, some heavy rain on the way, timing out those showers into your afternoon and evening. Then, our changes coming to D.C. Council. A look at the results of several primary races that could change the district. Also, thinking about a move to West Virginia, a relocation could earn you cash. Breaking down who qualifies to stretch their dollar. And as Pride Month kicks off, we look at ways that you can support members of the LGBTQ+ community this Wellness Wednesday.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Montgomery County Fire and EMS say that one person is dead, several others hurt after a crash along I-495 early this morning. The crash caused backups for hours, but has since cleared up. DC News Now's Liberty Zabala has the latest.
All lanes have been reopened and traffic has been cleared from that crash. But here's a look at the on-ramp of I-495 eastbound on that inner loop where traffic has returned to normal. But the crash on the inner loop was so bad, 2 victims were trapped and 1 person is dead. Just before 3 this morning, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue blocked lanes of 495 for a multi-car crash here. The crash involved 3 drivers with multiple trauma patients rushed to the hospital. The cars involved were just mangled pieces of metal after this crash, some just smashed and flattened from the sheer force of this collision. Firefighters say 1 victim was ejected from the vehicle. 6 victims were rushed to the hospital with trauma injuries. Metro even warned passengers that the red line was impacted in both directions because of this crash and even had to warn passengers to expect delays. For now, in Silver Spring, Liberty Zabala, DC News Now.
Liberty, thank you. An update in Triangle, Virginia this afternoon. A 17-year-old boy has been arrested for killing a 15-year-old and injuring 3 others. Prince William County police say that the 17-year-old shot at a group outside on Masthead Trail Monday night. They say the shooting stemmed from a previous dispute. The 17-year-old is being held at a juvenile detention center. He faces murder and aggravated assault charges. The surviving victims are a 16-year-old boy, an 18-year-old, and a 20-year-old man. The name of the 15-year-old has not been released. Our meteorologist Damon Matson joined us with the latest check on the forecast. And Damon, it just seems like a continuation of the way the week started, but it looks like we might get some rain today.
Yeah, Mark, today's looking like a lot more of an active day. We've been building up a lot of humidity in the atmosphere of late, a lot of moisture, and that is all going to come to a head this afternoon and evening. We're going to see multiple rounds of rain. Some of that could be on the heavy side, which is never a good thing for our metro areas, including DC Metro itself and surrounding counties, where we do have a flood watch that goes until 10 p.m. tonight as we deal with those multiple rounds of rainfall. And if some of those hit some of the same areas that are typically flood prone, we could be talking about some issues going into the night. Now, so far, thankfully, we have not had a whole lot of rainfall this morning, just some showers and storms down across southern Maryland. But as we look back off to the west, here we go. That rainfall is beginning to approach, crossing the mountains, and it will continue to push east as we go throughout the rest of the day. So while we are relatively dry right now, over the next couple of hours, that first wave of rain and storms arrives, and then we will continue to see that activity through the rest of the afternoon, well into the evening. Looks like 2 to 10 p.m. is going to be our most active time frame. So where could some of this heaviest rainfall then be most likely to set up, and when will this system start to exit? And we'll calm things down once again. We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
Damon, thank you. This afternoon, a 3-year-old girl is recovering after police say she accidentally shot herself. It happened yesterday in Montgomery Village. Police say that she shot herself in her hand and foot. Right now, it's not clear how the child got the gun. 4 people were in the home at the time. They're being questioned. Police are working to get a search warrant. Neighbors call the incident heartbreaking and preventable.
If you have a weapon, just leave it at home in a safe somewhere out of the reach of children, because It's just unfortunate that children are being exposed to certain things that they shouldn't be around.
This is the second child to accidentally shoot themselves in Maryland this week. A 4-year-old accidentally shot herself using a ghost gun on Monday. Now, Maryland law says it is illegal for you to leave a loaded gun somewhere a child can access it. That's anyone under the age of 16. Montgomery County Police offer free gun locks for gun owners. Well, the suspect in the deadly car accident or carjacking in Northwest is staying behind bars. Police arrested Kayla Brown Monday after she allegedly stole a car with a woman sitting inside. They say Brown then crashed the vehicle into a building. Emergency crews took the victim, Leslie Gaines, to the hospital, where she later died.
Give you the clothes off her back, the food out of her kitchen if you needed it. 3 daughters that loved her to death. Didn't harm nobody, never had an enemy. You couldn't find a better person.
The suspect's father says Brown had been acting different for the past few days. She's expected to appear in court on Friday. A man is pleading guilty to a widespread of fentanyl trafficking conspiracy charges in the district. Colombian Thomas is accused of distributing hundreds of thousands of counterfeit pills. An investigation was launched into Thomas when a D.C. woman died after taking one of those pills. He faces a minimum of 10 years in prison. Thomas is set to be sentenced in October. Remote workers are being offered big bucks to pick up and move to West Virginia. Weekend anchor Ben Dennis breaks down the requirements you have to meet before you see the cash.
States want outsiders to move in, and that's true for West Virginia in 5 different locations. Now, these incentives are increasingly popular, and as I found out, if you're a remote worker, there are ways to get ahead of the pack when applying.
Ascend, West Virginia.
It's a shiny offer.
The climb to West Virginia begins with the promise of discovery.
$12,000 to move to the Mountain State. The financial incentive is similar to many across the country from states and municipalities, promoting varied amounts of money for out-of-staters to move to towns in Indiana, Kansas, Texas, and yes, nearby.
We had this fantasy of like, oh, let's go west. Let's go to the mountains. Maybe we can do it.
For Megan Codlanger, the incentive from Ascend West Virginia came at the right time. After years living in Alexandria, finding out a new baby was on the way, the money helped find a dream home, renovate, and maternity care.
When we were going through this process, I found out I was pregnant, and I actually have good maternity leave, but the reality was I was 6 to 8 weeks without any pay. I had no income coming in.
Wanting to move.
Emily Huguenin says hundreds of remote workers have been approved for $12,000 after moving to West Virginia. Money that's available through a partnership between the state, West Virginia University, and the Wing to Wing Foundation.
We have over 50,000 applications, and we have 400 people in the program.
So it's a pretty strict program just by the numbers, right?
Yeah, part of it is we want to ensure, obviously, that people meet the program eligibility. We do a really in-depth review process, and we're looking for people who value community, purpose, and a connection to the outdoors.
A program like this just makes your move experience that much easier, and you already have a social network built in with like-minded people that are all here for the same reason.
And Ascend asks applicants to live in the Mountain State for 2 years. And of the 400 people already okayed to get that cash and move, Ascend's director tells me there's more money available. They hope to offer the incentive to 600 more people by 2027. Time to get a moving van? Up to you. In the newsroom, Ben Dennis, DC News Now.
All right, Ben, thank you. New details this afternoon. Maryland Governor Wes Moore is tackling climate change. Well, yesterday he signed an executive order requiring state agencies to submit a plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Well, the plans must be submitted by November and outline how each agency will help Maryland reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 2031. And it also creates a sub-cabinet focusing on climate change. The sub-cabinet will be required to produce a yearly report on Maryland's climate progress. The state aims to reach a net zero emissions by 2045. Well, Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown introducing a new online portal to report hate crimes. The site is nohomeforhate.md.gov. Victims can provide details of a crime through the form after making an initial report to police. Brown says the information will be used to track hate crimes and bias incidents, identify trends, and help develop strategies to improve the state's response. In Virginia, Governor Glenn Youngkin is planning on calling another special legislative session. At the session, he will address changes to a program funding college for families of disabled military veterans. The program previously paid for up to 8 semesters at a public Virginia college or university. Under the new budget, families now have to apply for financial aid first and may have to pay out of pocket before getting that waiver. The governor is now demanding state lawmakers come back to Richmond and repeal the changes.
Right now, we have a crisis with some of these families. And again, it's a very simple fix. We could be back in session in 48 hours and we could undo just that one simple part.
Thousands of additional students signed up, and that's overburdened the program. Colleges are having to pick up that tab to the tune of millions of dollars.
Well, lawmakers say the new changes will only apply to students who have enrolled after May 15th of this year.